Welcome back to Afternoon Live. If you are thinking about moving in with your partner, there are some important questions you should be asking before taking the leap. Here to share more, we welcome back licensed professional counselor and author of Big Dating Energy, Jeff Guenther, aka Therapy Jeff. It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Do you find that some people are just really jumping into this without thinking about the consequences?
Yeah, a lot of times they are.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to slow people down just a little bit and check in with themselves about if they really want to do this and why they want to do it.
Right. I mean, the big question is why, right? What does it mean to your relationship to cohabitate?
Exactly. Why are you doing this? Are you doing this because you feel like it's just time to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing it because it feels like it's the next logical step? Are you both excited about doing it? Are you doing it because you're just wanting to save money? Not the best reason, but an understandable one.
Totally.
Yeah. Are you doing it because you feel like you're feeling really insecure in the relationship and this will make you feel more secure?
Oh, no.
It's not going to work, but I get why you feel like it might work.
Okay.
Yeah. So are you on the same page? And also, what does this mean?
Okay.
Does this mean that, like, you know, we're just like playing around and testing out compatibility?
Sure.
No worries? Or does this mean like, well, now we're practically engaged, so this
Exactly.
is incredibly serious?
Sharing a home is a really big deal.
It's a very big deal.
Well, and you got to think about like the logistics, right? It's not very cutesy, but how are we dividing the expenses and things like that?
Yeah, not cute, not romantic, but really important because are you going 50-50 on the rent or the mortgage, even though you make twice as much as I do?
Right.
That doesn't feel very fair.
Right.
Am I paying half the water bill even though you're taking 30-minute showers? Why are you taking 30-minute showers? This doesn't make sense.
Literally why?
Yeah. So you have to like figure out like, all right, it also like, there's probably a power dynamic going on if somebody's paying for more and the other is paying less. So let's at least acknowledge that that's what's happening
Or
here.
somebody entering somebody else's space if you already live there and someone new is coming in.
Exactly.
That's tough.
Ideally, you're both like getting a new space together,
Yeah.
but that's not usually what happens.
Right.
So you have to make space for the other person coming in, which is hard to do for both of you.
Yes.
Yes.
And then what about as the honeymoon phase ends, how we're keeping the spark alive and keeping it exciting when you're, hi, it's you again.
Yeah.
Next day, same person.
You.
Hello.
Every single day, it's you.
Yeah.
Before, when you were living separately, there was like a natural amount of like tension and mystery, and I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to see you again, so let's make the most of this sort of feeling. But now you're texting each other about like, seriously, Burgerville 3 nights in a row? What is going on here? Like, did you take out the garbage? And the like, the spiciness, the sort of like sexual currency that you once had is no longer there. So you need to deliberately flirt with each other and create those moments because they're not naturally happening anymore. Date nights?
Date night?
Let's talk about date nights.
Okay.
Yeah, it's important that you schedule some date nights in order to keep that romance alive.
Gotta do it. You gotta schedule it. It's okay.
It feels kind of icky that you're putting it on the calendar, but if it's really important to you, then you schedule it, right?
That's a good way to think of it.
Yeah.
What about another unsexy topic, cleanliness?
Oh, God.
That's really
What
challenging.
is your definition of clean is a really good question you should ask your partner because you may be on totally different spectrums.
Yeah.
Also, what happens when you get ready for bed and you take off your clothes? Does it go directly into the laundry? Probably not. It might go in a pile on the floor, on the chair, on the bed.
Oh, no.
What's going on here? Can you leave dishes in the sink overnight, or are you going to lose your mind if anything is happening like that?
There's so much to overcome, truly.
Exactly.
There's many little things. Okay, and then what about, this is really sad, but what's the plan if it doesn't work out?
What is the plan?
Right.
Is somebody on the lease, and are you both on the lease?
Okay.
Does somebody get to stay while the other person goes? What about the shared couch that you bought at IKEA?
Oh, no.
Does the saddest one get to keep it? How are you going to
What's the
make
couch custody?
Yes, very, very important stuff. And it's actually like easier to talk about what happens if we break up when you're still in love.
Yeah.
Instead of like, we're broken up and I'm feeling so much resentment for you and
That
now we
makes
have to
sense.
figure out these complicated issues.
Sometimes if you're angry at the other person too, I mean, you don't want them to have anything.
No, you're keeping that couch even though you
Exactly.
hate it and you never liked it in the first place. but out of spite, which I respect, but not the best thing
Totally.
to do. Yeah.
What about other complications? Like everybody's coming in with a different situation. What if somebody has pets or even kids in the mix? How do you make sure that you're considering everybody?
Yeah, that's a great question. Just because now we share a pet, because you brought in your pet, does that mean that I'm walking that pet every morning?
Right.
Am I like scooping all the poop even though it feels really icky in my hands? If like I love your kids, but am I the one that's always picking them up from school?
Right.
So we're gonna have to figure out like what does shared responsibility look like, and do I feel okay with it? Do you feel okay with it? Do the kids feel okay with it? What about the dog?
Oh, the poor dog.
I know, but we have to take the dog's feelings into consideration.
We got to think about the dog. Well, and do you see people just kind of maybe fail in these situations because they really didn't take the time up front to consider all the different, challenges that they're going to face?
Yeah, oftentimes they do. And it feels like it's like you were saying before, it's like such a romantic, fun, lovely thing to do, and you don't want to like spoil it by asking these questions. And so sometimes you get really surprised when you move in with somebody and you find out that you're actually not really good roommates.
Oh no.
You're still in love with each other, still want to be with each other, but the roommate thing actually isn't working out, and I've seen that ruin a lot of relationships.
For sure.
Yeah.
Is there a right time or a wrong time to consider or discuss moving in together?
I would suggest not even discussing it until you're outside of the honeymoon phase.
Okay.
You can like talk about like what your future, like in the future, do you actually want to live together? Go ahead and talk about that. But then after the honeymoon phase is over and you get kind of like a real understanding of who this person is, then see if you still want to move in together.
It is a big commitment because when you think about what happens if it doesn't work out, there are so many decisions to make, and you got to consider that first.
I know, it's so sad if you break up and you have to move all of your stuff out. It's a very
moving is
awkward time.
terrible.
Nobody likes to move.
Nobody wants to move twice.
No.
Thank you so much. Great to see you.
Good to see you.
Okay, the book again is Big Dating Energy, and for more information about Jeff, just head to our website at katu.com and we will link you. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.